Assalamu alaikum. May peace and blessings to be on all of you. Thank you for joining. Inshallah, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to share something about how money makes money in a halal way. We all need to understand that investing is a part of life, and we have to invest either in 401k or Roth IRAs, or even buying a house is considered investing. And it is very essential for us living in the West to make sure that the money that we are investing is from in halal sources. So one of the things that I've done is come up with some of the things that some of the stocks or some of the ETFs that we can invest in. I understand that the stock market has taken a hit, but overall, when we look at investing, we do not look at one day's investing. We look at 5 years, 10 years, 15 years investing. So for me, for example, my goal is to retire at 58 or 59. And that means that I have 9 or 10 years left. So I've been investing, I've been saving for a long time, but at the same time, we need to make sure that we're saving in a way that is Islamically approved, right? So one of the things that I'm going to share with you is I'm going to turn this camera towards my computer, and I'll go over a few things. So as I was talking about money makes money, I basically made the presentation slides heading to be the same. But I'm going to talk about a little bit on ETFs, and then let me first, before I go over ETFs, let me share with you what's the difference between ETFs and mutual fund. Mutual funds are actively managed by hedge brokerage firms, and there is a fees that they charge annually for managing those funds. Those mutual funds often stay the same for the top holders or the top companies that the mutual funds are associated with. That in ETFs, they may change. They may change their companies day in and day out. Okay, so you got to be very careful when you're investing in an ETF. Make sure that the ETF is halal, because, for example, RK was halal, and they recently added Square. Actually, they didn't recently add it. Square was already added, but then Square filed for banking. So I sold Square and I sold RK as soon as I heard the news, right? So because I do not trade banking or insurance or airline or even Costco, Walmart, because they are, or Target, they are selling liquor. Even Walgreens sells liquor, so I do not trade in those stocks. So be very careful when you are selecting a stock. There are certain criterias also as far as cash flow goes, but majority of the firms that ARK is selecting, ARKG, for example, Genomics is selected, are based on either CRISPs or targeted therapeutics, or it's molecular diagnostic or stem cell or agriculture biology. So these stocks are in the halal sector. Let me share. If we would have bought ARKG stock, I misspelled it. It is ARKG on March 11th. It was floating March 11th of 2020. It was floating at 31.89. So let's say $32. And if I would have purchased that 1,000 stocks at $32,000 today, or last week, actually, it was trading at 97.79. So the market took a hit and the stocks have gone down. Honestly, I've not checked the price on this stock. But again, if you are buying it for long term, you don't have to be worried about what the price is today, tomorrow, or 5 days from now. And the reason is because I'm not pulling my money out for another 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, right? And these funds are going up, but be careful. You got to be very, very cautious about that when you invest, because these, as they go up, they can come down too. So you need to make sure that you buy the best ETFs, and if just follow the trend, making sure that the news are good. The company is not a fraudulent company. In this case, it is not. It's ARK. So there is a market reputation for them as well. So the second thing that I talked about was today's investment would have been almost 97,000 or last week's investment. So it means that I would have made $65,000 on a $31,000 investment, which is which is doubling your money, kind of, sort of. So while you invested 31,000 in your saving account, you would only get 0.02%, which would be $637 in interest. And again, it is interest. So be very careful. Another thing that you can take a look at is real estate. Real estate is booming. Every single state, basically, the real estate is booming. We were thinking of buying a property in either Texas or in Florida, but right now the property prices are 3 times what we were expecting to be. And I've talked to a realtor. She mentioned that if I would have come in last year, the prices would have been $150,000 cheaper in Florida, South Florida. So you can understand that, the properties, they always tend to go up. Sometimes it's only 3%, sometimes it's 4%, but majority of the time is 6% in a good economy. So let's say I've looked at it, and I looked at Michigan Realty. I consulted with one of my friends that is a realtor, and he mentioned to me that at least 6% for the last few years, Grand Rapids prices have gone up. Okay, so again, if I would have bought a house, but they also depreciate too, so that brings a tax benefit. So you can take a look at these slides, read this about real estate example that I've provided. And if you have any questions, my friend Drew Denham, that works out of Grand Rapids, he is an amazing source for purchases within all of Michigan. He's a broker. So I can connect you guys with Drew to buy or sell. He has helped me sell my cottage in Novago, and he was very good with selling it within a month. So again, I will use my resources. Again, I'm not making any money on that. This will be something that a friend you needed, and I'll be connecting you with a friend. He's a really nice guy. So one of the things that I would like you guys to take a look at is these are halal ETFs. HLAL, which is Wahid FTSE USA Sharia. March 3rd of 2020, it was floating as 25, and on March 2nd, it was floating at 34. And same with SPUS and ARKG that I talked about. So these are companies, these are ETFs that also give you dividends. If you take a look at halal, it gives you quarterly distribution, but if you take a look at SPUS, it gives monthly 0.026 dividends. So 2.6 cents for every stock. So basically it's not a high, but again, you're making some money while you're investing, and the price of the stock has gone up almost $7 also. Okay, so that's not bad as compared to 0.02% that I showed you on savings plan. And even money market, if you make a little bit more, make sure that money market again is a treasury bill, so those are not halal. So let me share with you some of the stocks that I'm holding. These are a few stocks out of my portfolio. I haven't given you the whole portfolio, but these are some of the stocks that I'm holding. Some of them I'm holding 10, some of them 50, some of them 200, some of them 500, depending on when I bought it and what price I bought it, right? So for example, NIO, I first bought it at $2. It was floating at $65. A few friends, I mentioned to them, and they bought it at $6 and $7. Same way there is another stock that is FCEL, which is not on here. I bought it for $1.79 at one point, and it is floating at $18. So again, when you invest in stock market, the stock tends to, if you are buying a halal stock, and if you are buying based on your due diligence and your research, you should be able to make good profit. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not telling you to buy these stocks. But right now the market is lower. So if you are planning on keeping for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, just like I will, these stocks I feel have the potential. Again, disclaimer, I'm not telling you to buy any of these stocks. So let me know if you are a stock, if you do stock trading, swing tradings, what stocks do you consider? How do you consider stock trading? One of the things I'm going to put next video is if I'm doing stock trading, especially swing trading, there are things that I use or tools that I use to make sure that I buy the stock at a good price so that I can make a few bucks and then make my profits. Keep in mind, I will also cover capital gains, which can be very detrimental when you do swing trades. Looking forward for your feedback. Take care and have a blessed week. Inshallah, I'll put another video on Sunday next week.